Back to another video, and in today's video we're actually going to be talking about the best way to get your FPS from really low to really high and everything you might need. Also, we're going to talk about a few things that'll help you get zero delay, which is low latency, and all kind of stuff like that. And on top of that, to top it all off, we're also going to help you guys out with like some zero ping stuff. So let's get right into this video. So as you can see, I'm in a match, and yes, I'm looking off to the distance, but even if I look over here, it's still roughly 500 or 600. Look up, it's like 600, 700 FPS, and it used to be so much better. It's kind of dropped recently. Also, I am recording at like decent quality, but it's kind of dropped recently. Well, not recording, I get upwards of like 800, and you know, my FPS is pretty decent, and there's quite a few things that I do for this. Also, I'll cover my specs and everything like that. Also, my ping is just hard zero. I was just sitting there. I'll talk about that too. It's a little difficult to see, but that thing is just sitting on zero. It's not really moving. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into a few things I'd like to show you that I do that will help you out a lot with your FPS. Starting here at number one, obviously I've talked about this many times, but it's the Fortnite settings. Now, your FPS, as I've said, needs to be one above, if not the exact same as your monitor's refresh rate. So I have a 240, I keep it on 240. If I had a 60 hertz, I'll either keep it on 60 or 120. If I had like a 120, I'd keep it on 144, and so on. 1920 by 1080 is always the best way to go in Fortnite. But if you do play Stretch, you can change it. Like I play 1720 by 1080. You know, you can do that too. Full screen, definitely the best mode for delay. You don't want anything else. Colorblind doesn't really affect your game at all. Everything else set to low. And that is how you should have it. I heard somebody else said performance mode doesn't have to do with FPS. They're absolutely 1000% wrong. It 100% does. There is some circumstances where it will, maybe direct 11 or direct 12 is better for your graphics card, but that really depends. So I recommend trying it, but performance mode is always the best option for you. Also, the only other settings you should have off are these energy saving settings. Definitely have these off. Those settings you do not want on. It causes your FPS to work, your PC to work a little bit harder than it needs to, and you just don't want that at all. Other than that, if you would like to copy my keybinds, if you're a keyboard and mouse player, make sure you have this on, lock input method on, you know, stuff like that. You don't want that, you know, messing around. For me personally, I feel like it gives me less delay. It might feel different for you, but that's it for Fortnite settings. Fortnite settings are very easy to go through, very easy to do. But let's get off of the Fortnite topic and move to the Epic Games Launcher. I'll full screen this for you. Once you're in the Epic Games Launcher, I've talked about this one called, a few of these I've talked about, but these are for the newer people. You go to Epic Games Launcher, go to Fortnite, go to options, and right here, just the top one and then the bottom one down here need to be checked off. Direct 12 shaders, unless you're using it, have it unchecked. And high resolution textures, 1000% have that unchecked. Save the world, if you have played Save the World and you play it, keep it checked on. But if you don't play Save the World, uncheck it. It's just, it'll free up some space on your PC. And then pre-downloaded stream ad sets, make sure you check that off and click apply. Right, once that applies, it'll do like a little update if you haven't done it before. Also, I recommend verifying your files. Just go to manage and quick little verify files. I'm not gonna do it right now because it does take a little second, but you know, it takes 2 seconds to do. So you can verify your files. All right, now we're gonna move on to some actual computer settings that are really good to help you for your FPS. Now, to start, we're actually gonna go to, this is bottom one down here. It's adjust the appearance and performance of Windows. So you click this, you would have to search it. You click custom. Now yours is probably gonna all be checked off like this. Here, I'll check them all off for you. Like this, and I can't full screen this, or I would. So you want all of these checked off except for the ones that I'm about to show you. So this bottom one, if you want to keep that one unchecked, and then show thumbnails instead of icons, and click apply. Let it load for a quick little second. It takes like 2 seconds to load. Has to render in all the settings you just changed, and then you click OK, and it's done. What that does is when you open something like, let's say files, for example, and you drag it around, it's actually a clear box instead of the whole thing being dragged, and it just makes things a little bit easier. And it does a few other things too. You can look into it and see everything that it does right there. But moving on, we got some computer settings. We'll start in system, go to display. I'm on Windows 11, by the way, and then graphics. Make sure at the very top, change default graphics, have both of these unchecked. Hardware accelerated GPU unchecked. Optimize for Windows games unchecked. Sorry. And then Fortnite, obviously high performance. If you don't see Fortnite, you might have to launch the game, but basically click options, high performance, really easy to do. Now these are all a bunch of stuff that I've covered. Now I'm going to talk about a few things that you need in order to run high FPS this season. And we're going to talk about it, you know, we're going to start with the stuff that I have. Now what I have at my computer is, I'll open up Task Manager and I'll full screen this for you. I'll go to here, my CPU. I have a 13th gen i7, right? And that obviously helps a lot with your computer. I only have 177 processes running, which is a little bit, but most people have above 200. So I mean, it's pretty decent. I also have a RTX 4070 Nvidia GeForce 4070. I am Etherneted, so my ping is a little better, but that's not why I'm on hard zero. I normally run around 15, but 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. So yeah, and it's not the best RAM in the world. The speed's only 5200, but it's pretty good. And I have 4 slots of 8. So that is how I run all of my my stuff, right? But yeah, I'm also Etherneted. This helps a lot. If you're not Etherneted, you need to be. And if you can't, I recommend a Wi-Fi adapter, something along the lines of that. But I'll show you real quick what I do for better ping, and that is just Gear Up Booster. Now, what Gear Up Booster is, I've talked about it many times, and I still recommend it to you all. It's an app that you download, and it's completely free to download. Link will be in the description. If you want to click that, click download real quick. Check this app out, and if you don't like it, that's fine. You can remove it, up to you. But it's still free to use, free to download, and you can boost absolutely any game. It's as easy as that. There's a few settings you might need to change. If you have any questions about settings, just hit me up, let me know. Join the Discord, linked in the description as well. And it's really easy to do. You can boost absolutely any game you like to. There's many more. This is just the popular ones. You can search games as well. So yeah, I recommend this to everybody that's playing any game that they're trying to play. It helps a lot with pings. Here to know that. But so yeah, if you're not using an app, go ahead and give this a shot. If you've tried others, they don't work, give this a shot. Might as well. If this doesn't work, try other apps. Feel free. Try whatever app you like. I used to use Xlag. That's probably why you could see it over here. I kind of stopped using it and started using this a little bit more. So yeah, it's up to you. Anyways, enough of that. We talked about that for a minute. Sorry, I got absolutely jump scared in the middle of that while I was trying to talk about that. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna go back to the settings. That got brought up because I was talking about what I use. Now, real quick, I'm gonna show you a few more things that you 100% should have off. And that one of them is the startup apps. Make sure you have all of this set up right so you don't have a bunch of apps running in the background. That's pretty obvious. You just go to apps and startup apps, uncheck or turn off everything you don't need on. Really easy to do. Now, this is all stuff that I've covered. So I'm going to talk about what you need in order to run on a high end, on high FPS. So what I recommend for your computer to run really high end FPS, I keep saying high end for some reason, it's just stuck in my head, really good FPS, is I recommend a CPU of the 12th gen and higher. I know that might be a little difficult for a lot of you guys to reach, but it's what you're gonna need to reach decent FPS, whether it's an i7, an i5, whatever it is, a 12th gen and above. I recommend for Fortnite. Now, your graphics card isn't that big of a deal. You can have a 3060 to a 3060 Ti. I wouldn't really go too much lower than that. Maybe like a 2070 Super, but I wouldn't go too much lower than that for good FPS. I'm talking good, not decent. I'm talking good. I'm talking 500 plus FPS. This is what you need. Obviously, you're going to need 16 plus gigabytes of RAM. 8 will not cut it. You will need 16 plus. 32 is definitely good. This is definitely best is 32. And I say 16 plus, but I think you should, on the better end, to be better is definitely 32 plus is what I would say. But if you want good FPS, like I said, 16, but shoot for 32. Okay, you want 32. Let's just put it that way. Scratch the 16, scratch the 8. You want 32. If you can't get it, 16, but 32. Okay. Obviously, after you get that 32 gigabytes of RAM, you want to go in your BIOS and you want to turn on XMP. Basically, it overclocks. I say overclock, but I'm not really sure if it's overclocking or what people would call it. But it overclocks your RAM to run at its actual speed instead of running at like half of it. It's really easy to do, and it takes 2 seconds. So that is a guarantee. You need to do that in order to have your RAM working at its fastest speeds. I'm gonna talk about a few things that I use in order to have no delay, and it's actually I use an Apex Pro Mini and then as my keyboard, and then the Razer Viper V2 Pro. Right, that's my mouse with glass gates, and the mouse is actually the fastest mouse you can get. It has Razer optical switches, and then the keyboard is the fastest keyboard you can get aside from the Wooting. Now the Wooting is just as fast. I know everybody says no, the Wooting's faster, this and that, but there's no proof. I'm sorry, you can't prove it. And even if it is, right, which is not, I'm just gonna throw it out there, it's not. Even if it was or happened to be, there'd be no diff. You wouldn't feel a difference. Now, what I have on my screen here is actually my keyboard. Now, see, it's at the 0.1. It used to be a 0.2. Now they can go down to a 0.1, and they have rapid triggers now, which is makes it even faster for like double editing and stuff like that, which makes it to where you actually don't need filter keys, which is what I'll talk about next. So if you have an Apex Pro Mini and you go here, you actually will not need filter keys anymore. Same thing as what's called your mouse. Your mouse clicks are just as fast. And nothing will feel too slow if you get the mouse I have. you can actually look up yourself. Actually, matter of fact, I'll do it. Fastest fastest mouse switches, and that's actually the Razer optical mouse switches, which is what's in the Razer Viper V2 Pro, which is what I have, which is like $120 mouse. So I highly recommend, this mouse to everybody. The link to the mouse and the keyboard will be in the description if you would like to, check those out. So highly recommend that mouse and that keyboard. And yeah, so we're going to move on to a few other things that you can do in order to get low delay, and, good FPS. Don't mind him up here. I can't really get rid of that unless I leave my call, but don't mind him. But moving on to settings, go to advanced in Discord, turn off hardware acceleration. That's another thing that you can have off. And it's, two little things that are really easy to do that a lot of people have open in the background all the time that you can just turn off. You don't need those at all, not even a little bit. And if you want OBS settings for streamers or Streamlabs settings, I have all of that covered in another video as well. So just really easy to do. But we're going to move on to timer resolution. Now, timer resolution, easy to get. Just search it up on Chrome, whatever you use. Look up timer resolution and download it. And when you open it, it'll look like this, right? Yours will say 1000. Just click maximum and it should say 500. Really easy to do. Go ahead and minimize it. Do not close. You minimize. And it's good just like that. You don't need to do nothing else with it. Now, this timer resolution, a lot of people say it doesn't work, but I recommend giving it a shot because for me, it works perfectly. I feel the difference. It's definitely a noticeable difference. For the people that don't have the keyboard or can't get the keyboard as of right now, I recommend Filterkeys. Now, Filterkeys, also, like I said, really easy to download. You just look up Filterkeys. It's the bottom one. You click the bottom one down here. Open that up. I think it downloaded. Yeah, there it is. Open up Filterkeys. Run, and here you are. Now, the best settings is 0, 25, 150. All right, available on confirm and save the registry. Right, and then you click apply and OK when you're ready. If you want to test other stuff, you can go ahead and test as much as you would like. But yeah, Filterkeys, another one that I highly recommend. It makes your keyboard actually type faster. It's like almost like a macro, but it's not. And you can't get banned for none of this, I promise. I've covered this in many other videos as well. You will not be banned for using this at all, not even a little bit. So you're all good 100% to use this. Another thing that you can do is, there's a lot of things hidden deep in Windows that you can't really turn off through your settings. So I recommend, I'm not sure how to say his name, but it's his first name is Chris, right? He has this tweaking thing. Here's a picture of it right here. You can easily go through and turn off a bunch of things just like that. And same as his YouTube channel, his name's just right there. Same as the picture. It's Chris Titus or something like that. Go ahead, give him a search. Use this. You can turn off a bunch of different things. It also describes everything it's, that's being turned off. Highly recommend you give that one a shot. Turn off a few things. I also have a video on this if you would like to check that out. I got a few videos on how to use it, what to turn off, and everything like that too. I just don't want to make this video too long. It's just a quick little recap on a few things that you can do, and be careful with it. You can actually turn some stuff off that you don't need off. But if you have any questions, obviously, like I say for everything, just join the Discord. Go ahead and ask away. I'll answer all of them as much as I can and as fast as I can. All right, last but not least, we're actually going to talk about this Nvidia app. Now, I've been using it for a couple of days now, and it works okay. I will be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but basically the way this works is there's drivers, everything here. You can download, update your drivers here. There's graphic settings. If you go to Fortnite, you have all of this, right? And you can edit these as well, as you wish. See down here, you can edit all of this, and let's see, boom, edit. But I am not too sure what the best settings are, as I don't need to use this really. I use the Nvidia settings to edit everything, or I just use it all in the Fortnite actual game. Low latency mode on, right? This is something you can do on on the Nvidia settings as well, which I've covered my Nvidia settings multiple times. If you want to see that, obviously you just check out another video. I don't want to keep showing things I've already shown, but you can also do it here, like low latency mode on. Stuff like that. Also, you can go to the settings. It also takes to the control panel here. Just click on the settings, opens it up right here. If you would like to see this, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I've done it multiple times. Here you go. Copy it if you'd like to. These are the best settings you can have as of right now. For low latency mode set to on. Don't keep it on, don't put it on ultra. Okay, just want to throw that out there right now. But yeah, at the end of the day, I do recommend the new Nvidia app. There's a bunch of different things about it. The one thing I don't like is the new clipping with it. When you hit Alt Z, it looks like this now instead of what it used to look like. And a lot of people have been asking me what's a good clipping software, and actually I think the Nvidia software is the best. But if you don't have Nvidia, I recommend maybe like the SteelSeries app. This works pretty good for clips too. This would be like my second option if I couldn't use the other thing, because stuff like Metal, if you're using the app Metal, you need to uninstall it right now. Metal is not good for clipping at all. It actually causes your FPS to be really, really, really bad. So yeah, don't use Metal. But alright, that is the end of this video. If you guys did like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and I hope this helps you out a little bit. It tells you what you need to get and everything like that. Also a little insight on what I use to do what I do. If you don't know my skill level, I'm actually not that bad. You can check me out here on Twitch. Here's my Twitch right here. And yeah, catch you guys in the next video.